You step into the room and your cat spots you, and right away they stretch out. Front paws reaching forward, back curving upward, the whole body extending fully, then they gaze up at you. It happens so often that most people don't give it a second thought. It's endearing, you smile and you keep moving. But that stretch isn't just one thing. There are 5 distinct reasons a cat does it, and one of them has nothing at all to do with you. Hello everyone. Today we're breaking down the greeting stretch, along with that chattering sound they make at birds, the bite that follows a lick, and a chewing habit. That's more than just a funny trait. Quick note before we proceed. This is one part of a larger discussion about what your cat is really communicating, and I've compiled everything into a book called The Happy Cat Manual over at leobennettsecrets.com. Go have a look if you'd like more joyful years alongside your cat. That's it. So let's begin with the stretch itself. The first reason is the most straightforward and the kindest. It's a salutation. In most cases, a cat stretching when they notice you is offering a greeting, and here's why that carries more weight than it first appears. Reflect on what a stretch requires. The torso lengthens, the belly is exposed, the limbs push outward. For a short moment, your cat is in the most exposed posture imaginable. An animal wouldn't adopt that stance in front of anything it feared, so the stretch communicates trust. Your cat is letting you know they feel safe enough to drop their guard for a moment without any hesitation. A purr accompanying it reinforces that same message. Receive it as a compliment because that's genuinely what it is. The second reason is a bit more practical and, frankly, just as gratifying. They're seeking your focus. Cats are sharp at recognizing what gets results. If a particular action consistently leads to affection, goodies, or even just hearing their name, they'll repeat it. And a stretch is a big, slow, impossible-to-miss movement right in the middle of your path. It's deliberately noticeable, so often that stretch is really saying, "Hey, notice me. I'm present. Look how skilled I am at this." And while we're at it, let me challenge a common belief, because cats get unfairly characterized as distant and self-sufficient, and that view is outdated. Cats definitely want attention from the humans they've bonded with. They're just subtler about requesting it, so their signals frequently go unnoticed. Consider how simple it is to walk past your cat. You cross the same space a dozen times in an evening without glancing down. But when they stretch out in front of you and make a sound, you halt, you lean in, you speak to them. It does the trick. That's why they keep doing it. So, acknowledge it sometimes, not every occasion, but frequently enough. A cat that asks for attention in the gentlest way they can, only to be repeatedly disregarded, will eventually resort to behaviors you'll enjoy less. 20 seconds is a small investment. The third reason is purely physiological, and this one isn't about you at all. They're getting their body moving. Cats sleep a huge portion of the day, and when your cat sees you come in, there is a strong possibility they were asleep moments earlier. Muscles that have been inactive become tight, much like our own, and stretching gets circulation moving and joints limber. So sometimes you haven't received a greeting at all. You simply walked in at the exact moment they were rousing anyway. But here's where it circles back to you. Your cat frequently stretches because they're expecting something. Your presence often means play could happen, or food, or being lifted. So they're preparing their body for whatever follows. That reflects a cat who has learned that your arrival typically brings something positive, which is its own form of admiration. And this is worth paying attention to over time. A cat that stretches freely and smoothly is at ease. A cat that used to do so but has gradually stopped, or stretches stiffly or doesn't reach as far, could be signaling that their joints are painful. Arthritis in cats is much more prevalent than most people realize. and it almost never appears as an obvious limp. It shows up as doing a little less than they once did, so appreciate the stretch and keep an eye out for any shifts. The fourth reason is the one most people never guess: their scent marking. Cats have odor-producing glands in multiple spots, including their paw pads, and they deposit pheromones, which are chemical cues that other cats can interpret. You can't detect them whatsoever. To another cat, they convey details. And a stretch presses those paws and that torso against the floor or furniture, putting that scent in place. The same instinct as brushing against your legs when you arrive home, carried out on the ground instead of on you. There is a nuance here I appreciate. The broader the stretch, the wider the area covered, and the greater the claim. A full-bodied stretch across a room is a cat etching their signature over as much space as possible. And you'll notice this increase in certain circumstances. Bring a new pet home and your current cat's marking behavior jumps notably. Take them to someone else's house, and they'll do it in unfamiliar rooms. Occasionally they'll extend their claws too, since that leaves both a scent mark and a visible mark simultaneously. None of that means your cat is being problematic. That's a cat who's suddenly less clear about who possesses what, settling the matter the only way they know. And the fifth reason is the most basic of all. They're regulating their temperature. Cats don't sweat like humans do. So on a warm day, they'll seek out the coolest surface nearby, tile, pavement, grass, and sprawl out flat with all four legs extended. That maximizes the body's contact with a cool area and allows heat to disperse. So if it's midsummer and your cat is splayed across the kitchen floor appearing like they've completely relaxed, that isn't a greeting. That's temperature control. All right. Now let's shift to a completely different sound, because this one startles people when they encounter it for the first time. The bird chattering. Your cat is perched at the window. There is a bird outside or a squirrel, and their jaw begins moving in a rapid stuttering rhythm. Quick, fierce, and somewhat odd to hear. The current understanding is that this represents a very particular emotional clash. Intense excitement at seeing prey, immediately colliding with total inability to act on it. The hunting instinct activates, the body readies itself, and then there is glass in the way, leaving all that energy with no outlet. So the chattering is excitement and irritation spilling out through the jaw. Entirely normal, not a sign of distress, not something that needs fixing, but treat it as useful information. A cat chattering at a window has their hunting instinct, fully engaged with nothing to direct it toward. If your cat does this frequently, respond with a genuine play session. A feather toy moved like a living creature, and let them capture it. You're giving that energy a target it can reach. Now, let's address a behavior that seems affectionate and baffling at the same time. The lick followed by a bite. You're petting your cat, they give your hand a lick, and then they give you a nip. Or they bite first and then start licking. It feels contradictory because half of it is friendly and half of it isn't. Two entirely different things are occurring, and identifying them matters. The first is an affection nip, and it's part of grooming. When cats groom one another, they don't just lick. They lick and gently nibble, because that's how you properly work through fur. So a cat that licks your hand and gives it a small controlled bite is grooming you. They've categorized you as family. It's light, it doesn't break the skin, and it's genuinely loving. The second is overstimulation, and this is what catches people off guard. If you've been stroking your cat for a while, and they lick your hand and then bite, that's usually not affection. That's a cat informing you they've had enough. Petting that felt pleasant a few minutes earlier has crossed into being excessive, and the nip is the signal. And the key point is that you get indicators beforehand. The tail twitches or flicks. The ears turn back and flatten sideways. You might notice the skin across the back rippling. All of it says the same thing: stop right now. So watch the tail while you pet, not the face. At the first flick, remove your hand. Do that consistently, and the biting largely stops because you're intervening before the tension builds, rather than waiting to be informed the hard way. And you'll have no difficulty distinguishing any of this from genuine aggression, which appears entirely different. Hissing, a stiff, rigid stance, fur bristling. A love bite arises during a peaceful moment. Aggression signals itself well ahead of time, which brings me to licking by itself without the bite. Mostly, it's affection and bonding. Cats groom those they view as family. Kittens are groomed by their mother, and many cats continue that behavior into adulthood and aim it at their people. When your cat licks you, they're doing to you what their mother did to them. There is a second layer, and it's scent again. Licking transfers their smell onto you, so you now carry the household fragrance. In cat language, that's both "I love you" and "this one belongs to me." And those are closer to the same statement than you'd imagine. And a third possibility that's less sentimental. If you've recently eaten or you've applied hand cream, your cat might simply enjoy the flavor of you. Not every lick is a proclamation. Now, the belly. Your cat flips over in front of you and reveals their stomach. The almost universal reaction is to reach for it, which is the almost universal mistake. That belly is the softest, most vulnerable part of a cat's body, and all the vital organs lie beneath it. A cat confronting danger does not roll over and expose it. So when they do it in front of you, they're at ease, content, and not at all threatened. It's confidence and trust, and it's frequently a greeting as well. "Hello, I'm happy to see you, and I wouldn't mind some attention if it's offered." What it is not is an invitation to rub that area. Some cats genuinely enjoy it, and if yours is one, go ahead. But most find it too intense, and plenty will seize your arm and kick at it with their hind legs. Accept the compliment and scratch their cheeks, chin, or the base of their ears instead. And the final one, why your cat doesn't respond to you. You call their name from across the room and receive absolutely no reaction. Not a twitch of an ear, not a glance. And it's difficult not to feel slighted by that. So here's what the research indicates. A study conducted at the University of Tokyo revealed that cats can distinguish their owner's voice and their own name, even when spoken by a stranger. Some betray their recognition with a small ear movement or a head turn, but only about 1 inch 10 actually approached when called. So, your cat hears you. Your cat knows their name. Your cat knows it's you. They've simply decided that getting up isn't worth the effort at that moment. And that's not a reflection on the relationship. It's the difference between the two species we live alongside. Dogs are wired to be engaged in everything, to follow, to participate. Cats are autonomous, and they respond when they have a reason to. So if you want your cat to come, give them an incentive, a treat, a toy, a warm place to settle. That's not bribery, it's negotiation, and it works far better than repeating their name multiple times. And that independence is precisely why so many of us choose cats. A cat who approaches you has made that choice every single time. So let me bring everything together. The stretch is 5 things: a greeting, a bid for attention, a body warming up, territory being claimed, or a cat cooling off on a tile floor. The chattering is a hunting instinct with nowhere to direct it. The nibble is either grooming or a caution, and the tail tells you which. Licking is family scent, and occasionally just the residue of your meal. The belly is trust, not an offer, and being ignored means your cat heard you perfectly and simply wasn't motivated to move. Almost none of it is accidental. Your cat has been communicating their entire day to you through actions subtle enough to overlook completely. And now the one I want to end with, because unlike everything else in this video, it isn't a cute habit. If your cat chews on items that aren't edible, plastic bags, fabric, wool, cardboard, and most alarmingly electrical cords, that's a condition known as pica, and it requires a vet visit. The underlying cause often isn't clear. It's been associated with nutritional deficiencies, thyroid imbalances, genetic factors in certain breeds, and with boredom and stress. Several of those are completely fixable once someone identifies them. And there is an immediate danger as well, because swallowed fabric or plastic can trigger an intestinal blockage, which is a medical emergency. And chewed cords are as dangerous as they sound. So this one doesn't belong on the list of endearing mannerisms. If your cat is consuming non-food items, schedule the appointment and have them examined properly. So share in the comments, does your cat stretch when they spot you? And now that you're aware of all 5 reasons, which one do you think your cat is performing? I imagine a lot of you have been receiving a territory claim and interpreting it as a hello. Hit like, subscribe, and forward this to someone whose cat welcomes them at the entrance. Go watch that next stretch carefully.